and welcome to the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition's Small Business Forum. I know it's a mouthful, sorry, stuttered a little there. My name is David Dadekian. I'm your host. I own Eat Drink Rhode Island, a small business here in Rhode Island. And today we've got a fellow board member of the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition, Hugo. He's with us. He owns the Event Factory in Warwick, Rhode Island, along with other businesses. We should talk about Hugo. It's been... I shudder to think. I think it's been over 20 years we've known each other. And so I know you've been a very much an entrepreneur over this time. You and your wife Dana. Tell us about what you're up to now. Tell us about your start. Let's start with the start, the beginning, with your entrepreneurship. Where did you start?
Oh, geez. Yeah, well, say 21 years ago, I started a barbershop in Wakefield, and then that same time, we started the Talent Factory in North Kingstown.
Yeah.
So I know that's kind of how we met, through the Talent Factory, the Performing Arts Center, where we work with kids, teaching acting, dancing, and singing lessons. And
still open and thriving.
Still open, thriving. We're in a great community. We've been in the same community for 21 years, celebrating our 21st season starting this summer. So yeah, that's been great, and it's been a long road. And then from there, birthed the Event Factory, which where I am now. And I've been focusing on the Event Factory for the last 3 years, where we like to call ourselves a crafted event space. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. And I think we originally met because you photographed my wedding.
Yeah. Well, I knew Dana prior to that, but then I met you when I had the wedding.
Yeah, the wedding, that was 17 years ago.
Yeah. No, I know it's amazing how time flies. So you're there at the Event Factory. I've been. For anyone who hasn't been, you really should check it out. It's an amazing place. Hugo's really built a beautiful design, the structure of it all. It works beautifully for events of very large scales, down to just having lunch or brunch. In the restaurant area. So check it out, the Event Factory in Warwick. But Hugo, you came to us at the coalition during the pandemic. You and I were founding board members. Try and get this thing off the ground. What drew you to the coalition? Where were you at the time and all that?
Oh, well, as we all remember, COVID was a tough time for all small businesses. And at that time, being in the performing arts industry, I remember feeling like we were being left out or even singled out at some points in that time. And that's when we worked with the at-time Lieutenant Governor, Dan McKee, who's now our governor. And he gave us great advice. And he said, there are a lot of small businesses that are struggling right now, and you have to put your voices together. And that's where I met Chris Parisi, obviously, who founded the organization. And he started putting together the rallies, and we were speaking outside the State House, and the organization actually of small businesses being organized. That was really important at that time, to create one voice for small businesses and be organized. And it worked, and it really it seemed like it made a difference. So I enjoyed being a part of it from the beginning. I enjoy being a part of it now. It's nice to have conversations with fellow business owners when you can say, the coalition helped with this, the coalition did this, the coalition is doing that. And it helps because, in the state of Rhode Island, I think it's really important for small businesses to be able to communicate with each other and help progress, right? That's always been our number one topic with the coalition, is how do we progress as a small business community in Rhode Island? So that really stands out, and it's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the thing that we try to stress for those of you out here listening is it's any small business. We really are trying to, obviously, each different areas, I'm in, media and hospitality, events. You've got Jen in, barbershop, Chris in marketing, Mark is business services, a wide range of things, but there's a lot of commonality too. And so I think, we've really tried to be, a voice for all small businesses across a lot of different sectors here in the state. And we've done, a lot of different things over the years. What do you feel has been some of the challenges that we've been able to solve?
A lot. I think a big thing that the coalition was able to connect dots on were helping small businesses with technical needs, accounting, hiring. I know we just hosted the job fair.
Yeah.
Thanks to the coalition and the state of Rhode Island. So being able to connect dots like that, I know for myself, accounting has always been a challenge, right? To find an accountant that can work for my business and help explain to me how I should be operating on a day-to-day basis. Apart from that, technology, just being able to access the right minds to help with technology and connecting, whether it's a POS system or how to build a website, so many different variables in having a small business today that you need some kind of assistance with. And the coalition is a great place to connect you with that right person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were a key part of the technical services grant last year. It was actually 23 and 24. And I've got Nina from Skills for RI who administered that grant with us on the program coming up soon. Things like that really, I think, made a big difference for a lot of folks, and we were really happy to be able to spearhead those things and get them out there for folks to try. And the job fair was hugely successful. I don't know, what do you think? I thought that was a great time.
It was a great time. We had a good turnout. I know myself, I received quite a few applications for people that were still pursuing one that we hired here at the Event Factory. So it was definitely helpful. I saw that other businesses were getting a good rapport. A lot of people showed up to apply for specific places that they were really looking for. I think it was very well organized and it was effective.
Yeah. Thank you. And for those of you who missed it, we are going to do another one. We don't have a date set yet, but as always, rispc.org, you see the website down there in the bottom corner. If you go there, sign up for our newsletter. Everything goes out in our newsletter. Or, of course, up there in the corner, you see Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Follow those, and all the stuff that goes out in the newsletter, we share to the social, and so on and so forth. You get it.
A lot of ways to get in touch with us, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, what do you see some of the things that have continue to be challenges that you think we should be working on as we move into the forward? Because I think the key is, we're happy to be a small business in Rhode Island. We love, all of us love being here, and just had the conversation with Kate a little while ago, and she was talking about, being 5 minutes from, everything in Rhode Island. But there's still challenges of small business. Let's be honest. We know this. It's not all behind the sky, and that's why we're here to try and improve things. What do you think we should be working on next, and what have you been hearing?
Well, David, I've always been vocal about the regulations, right? And I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we face here in Rhode Island for small businesses is all the different licensing and just staying organized. I think it's really important for us it took me probably 20 years to realize I just need a spreadsheet with all the licenses that I carry and when they expire, right? And trying to keep track of that, I think for a small business is challenging, right? Especially for a small business who doesn't have a CPA on the books that's just, taking care of everything daily, right? I know some of my friends in small businesses have somebody who's there for payroll and, just all their licensing needs, making sure that your food license is current, your retail license is current, your litter permit is active, your liquor license is up to date, your taxes are paid. There are so many little parts, that I think are very challenging for most small businesses. And it does take some time to realize how organized you need to be to make sure that you don't lapse on any of these mandatory things.
Right. And I think, because, small businesses range from, single owner operators on up. And, a lot of the smaller ones don't have, a full-time bookkeeper or something like that on staff. So it's good to know that there are other small businesses out there that do those services and are out, allow you to keep running your business the way you want to run your business and to help you do those things. And that's what we try to do with the coalitions is bring those things together. We've done networking events. We've done some of them there and at other spots. Those are always usually successful as well. Excuse me. What other type of events and things? What sort of program do you got coming up at the Event Factory? What's going on there?
Well, right now we're in June. So June, we really focus a lot on the performing arts community, right? That's where this all started. So it's really important for us to keep to our roots there. So June is recital month.
Yeah.
So we are, staying in the dance recital realm. We are also doing a lot of youth theater programs. Then we have a few other things coming up that aren't really open to the public. We have a few video shoots here for a guy who's shooting a pilot for a program he's doing, a tour. So he's going to be in here shooting a pilot for that a couple days next week. And we still have some comedy shows on the books. We have comedy shows coming up. But apart from that, we are open for brunch. And brunch is always a show, right? I call it a show because we do beats and brunch every Sunday. And that one is really fun. It's every Sunday with a DJ. And the DJ plays to the crowd. Sometimes we're doing show tunes. Sometimes we're doing R&B. Sometimes it's theatrical. Sometimes it's country. We have June 29th, we have an organization coming in called Boots on the Ground, and it is a country vibe of line dancing brunch. So we're always trying to throw something new into the race, right? And making it creative and entertaining at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I should just mention, well, obviously this is a background. That's not a background. That's your lobby there, right? Yeah, that's a beautiful spot. The artwork is really fun. It's a really well-designed spot.
Thank you. I always give credit to our artist, Ariel Cruz. He's well known in Rhode Island. He does a lot of artwork for a lot of organizations. The guy's completely incredible. You throw anything at him and he will make it his own and make it exactly what you're looking for. So if you don't know him, look him up on Instagram. He also is a small business in Rhode Island, so it's important for us to support local art, especially in Rhode Island, with our history of art. There's so much to offer when it comes to that in Rhode Island.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll link all that up down there in the show notes when we get this posted or on the podcast notes if you're listening to this on podcast and not on YouTube. So, Hugo, you've started a few small businesses over the years. Do you have any advice for folks who are thinking of starting a small business? They're here listening to us because they're curious about starting a small business, but haven't yet?
Do it, right? First of all, if you're thinking about it, do it. If you're thinking about it, I like to think that there are a few reasons why you decide, maybe I should open a small business. And one is, to be someone independent for yourself, right? To try to generate your own future. And I think it's important. I think if that's something that you're gravitating towards, I think it's worth it. If you want to set your own hours, set your own pace, and decide how much money you want to make in life, right? I think it's important. Otherwise, you can work a job, which is great also because you're probably in Rhode Island, you're probably going to end up working for a small business.
Yeah.
So, it's a beautiful thing. And I think now, knowing what I know now and being in touch with the right organizations, I wish I knew this 20 years ago, the things I know now, right? So I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I don't think 20 years ago, some of the things that make starting a small business easier were accessible to us or were around or were created. Right. So I think 20 years ago, we were guessing, I think this is what we're supposed to do. I think this is the license I need,
Yeah.
It's not until someone says, hey, you don't have the right license for that you're like, oh, okay. All right. Let me figure this out.
Yep.
But
absolutely true.
The information is there. It is, you have to know how to find it, obviously, and that's never going to go away. Right. So you have to research and just, get the information you need. Find the right organizations to work with to guide you along the way because they do exist, like the coalition, and do it. I think it's worth it.
Yeah. And it has certainly become easier. I mean, I was talking with the Secretary of State recently for the program, and he was talking about all the web services that are available and the portal they have on their website. And we didn't have all that 20 years ago. I mean, to be able to go and click, and then all right, there's what I need. So yeah, it's become easier, and that's a good thing. And I think I'm proud, I'm sure you are as well, to say that we've been able to be part of that over the years.
Absolutely. I think it's the best thing that happened from COVID, to be honest with you. That and, curbside pickup. I think those are the two greatest things that came out of COVID.
There are some nice conveniences, yeah, especially as I get older. And if I have to get something really, really heavy from Home Depot, I could have them do it themselves.
Load it up, right?
Load it up.
No, it's not.
You should use Home Depot. They're not a small business. But if Ace Hardware has it over Home Depot, please do that. I'm just thinking of large pieces of equipment that unfortunately.
Ace Hardware also has curbside pickup.
Yes, they do. That's very true. Thank you, Hugo. Yeah. So any other words of advice or thoughts you have for folks, or any thoughts about the coalition that you want to share before we go?
Well, I mean, I think what you just said about the comparison to Home Depot and Ace Hardware is something that's really important to put in someone's mind, right? If you're in Rhode Island, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's something close to 80% of businesses in Rhode Island are small businesses.
When you combine them all together, yeah, it's a large sector. Yeah,
it's a large sector. So if you know someone who lives in Rhode Island, obviously they may be working for a small business. Odds are a lot of people in your circle at home, whoever's listening to this podcast, most of your friends probably work for a small business one way or another. You might not even know that they do. So I think it's really important to know who's a small business or who's a locally owned business. I don't even want to call it small business, just a locally owned.
Yeah, locally owned is a good point. To use Ace as an example, those are franchisees. Those are owned by small local owners. There's a lot of things out there like that are similar. They're maybe bigger brands, but they are owned by local folks.
Absolutely. I heard someone say recently, I'm not going to Dunkin' Donuts because they're not a small business. And I responded to them. I said, I know the guy who owns that Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, right.
Very much a small business.
Yeah.
So, you may not notice, but they're all over the place. There are businesses that are locally owned all over the place. And I hope that we can all support them. I know I've said this to you, David, before. I try to only go to restaurants where I either know the owner or know that the owner is a part of a community, right? Like a part of a certain community or just any community really, but they're local. And I try to stick to those restaurants. If you catch me at a chain restaurant, slap me in the hand. But
yeah, I don't know if I was at a chain restaurant. I mean, it's especially here in Rhode Island. It's so easy not to go to a chain restaurant.
It's so easy not to. I can't tell you the last time I went to one. But again, if it's a franchise that's locally owned, it's a little bit different. So just because it's a chain doesn't mean that it's corporate all the way. It could still be locally owned.
True.
So that's one thing that I would try to, really push and have other Rhode Islanders, and not just in Rhode Island, whatever state you're in. If you're listening to this podcast in New Jersey, whatever community you live in, support that small business because that money stays circulating in your community.
That's exactly true. Absolutely true.
I think that's really important. Otherwise, that the profits from that Home Depot are going to who knows where. And that money is not being spent back into Rhode Island. Let's keep that money here. It keeps the economy growing and it helps all the businesses.
Absolutely. Thank you. Very well said, Hugo. I appreciate it. It's been great chatting with you today. I'm sure I'll see you again soon, sometime at an event or something, or one of our board meetings. Thanks again for taking your time today and talking to us. We'll link up the event factory and all that down below, and people check it out. It's a great spot. Take care.
Appreciate it. Thank you. See you soon.
So that's another episode of our show. Thank you as always for watching and or listening. Give us a like, subscribe, rating, whatever it is that's on the app that you're using to watch or listen to the show. Please give us a click because it helps spread the word and helps more people help support small businesses. So again, thank you for watching and take care.